What's going on? It's Casual Gamer Dad. I am testing the mobility penalties in 7 Days to Die Alpha 17 build 221. What I'm going to be doing is testing. I wasn't quite sure how to test this to start off, so I kind of went a little bit overboard. I cut it down a lot just that way it's just nice and concise for you. But the first thing I did was do a baseline run with just nothing in my hands, just running. Came in around 3.2 seconds, consistent with my last video. Then I thought, well, let's try with an AK in your hand. I thought they were going to add something for Alpha 17 where certain weapons you might move a little slower. It looks like that's not the case for at least the AK-47. So I'm going to start getting stuff out of the creative menu to see if I can find anything that does affect the run speed. So quick run with the pistol and doing 20 meters in 3.12 seconds. Does not appear that firearms slow you down. So getting the sledgehammer out. Figure we'll go with the big guns. You know, I figure if something's going to slow you down, I would think it would be the sledgehammer, but we'll also get an axe and pickaxe out to see how that goes. So running with the sledgehammer doesn't seem to also have an effect. So at this point, I'm pretty confident that it's not going to have any impact whatsoever. No matter what you have in your hand, you're going to be able to move the same. So I thought I'd start digging in then to the mobility penalty that you get from armor. So I loaded up with military armor because obviously, you know, probably my favorite armor in the game. And you come in at 79% mobility with full military armor. So I wasn't sure if that was a linear penalty, and it appears to be. It appears that you lose 21% of your speed. So you go from, what was it? 6.41 meters per second to 5.06 meters per second, which is consistent with the percentage loss. So the other thing that I did here was I wanted to see, I pulled out, if you had a full set of steel armor, a full set of iron armor, a full set of scrap armor, a full set of military, leather, or cloth, what is the penalty? The penalty appears to be consistent with this chart, where all cloth, leather, and military share the same penalty stats. Cloth, you're going to get 10 for your armor rating, leather 20, military 30 for full mobility, 79%. Stand penalty is going to be -8, and your final run speed is going to be 5.06 meters per second. With scrap metal armor, iron armor, or steel armor, they're all the heavy armors. You're going to get 70% mobility with stand penalty of 10 and a run speed of 4.49. So overall, it's kind of interesting that there isn't that much diversity in the stat penalty. You would think that maybe there would be a little bit of a difference there, you know, between, you'd think steel would actually be a little lighter than iron. Maybe that the scrap might be a little lighter than iron, but have a much lower armor rating. I'm surprised at the leather and military and cloth are the same, but, you know, it is what it is. Not too big of a deal. So the next thing that I'm showing is the encumbrance, right? I want to understand how the encumbrance works. So it appears that the encumbrance is about 2.5% mobility per slot that is taken up. And that is independent of your armor rating, it appears. So right now I'm at 70% mobility with heavy armor on, and every time I use a slot, it takes another 2.5% mobility hit. taking everything off for this test. I'm just going to do a quick run with a little bit of encumbrance. So now I'm at 97%, or I think it's 97.5. Because I did a little bit of testing off camera. But it turns out, and I'm not using any. Oh, I am using pack mule. Yeah, I wanted to see if once you get pack mule, is that going to change the penalty, right? Am I going to, if I have one thing with pack mule and I go one over, is it still 2.5 for the penalty? And it appears to be consistent. So it stays consistent no matter how much pack mule you have. You're always going to lose 2.5% mobility for what you are for every encumbrance slot, if you will. So 3.2 versus 3.12, it's pretty close. I did a little analysis on the side afterwards where I wanted to calculate what's the most blocks of encumbrance that you can use without being able to die, I guess. So if you have no armor on, you can use 18 slots of your extra inventory space before you're no longer able to outrun the zombies when they are sprinting. If you have it in nightmare mode, only 14 slots. With light armor, 10 encumbrance slots. If you go any higher than that, you will not be able to outrun the zombies. And if you are using nightmare speed, 6 slots, and then heavy armor, 6 slots is all you're really gonna be able to use for sprint, and 2 for nightmare. So it does definitely ramp up pretty quick in terms of how much slower you actually get based on the armor. Overall, though, I think it's a nice little feature. I was a little disappointed at first hearing that we were going to have less inventory space. But overall, we still have more, but there's a realistic penalty. It is kind of funny, though, if you were to, split a stack of feathers up into multiple slots, so you would suddenly be encumbered. But hey, I can't.
A spitting vulture?
I would rather that than than if we actually had to add weight values to everything. If you had weight values, I mean, your stack of stone would encumber you quickly. So at the end of the day, I think it was worth it. I think it's a good change to the gameplay. So if you enjoyed the analysis, if you have any suggestions on things I should cover, I am putting together another video here shortly on horde bases, because my first horde night, which you can go check out the video, I did a pillar base, which doesn't work anymore. So that was frightening. Yeah, go check that out. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good one.